Hey guys, what's going on? Shifu Gregg here with the Authentic Shaolin Kung Fu School. We are going over form and function today. We're going to be doing some more of the 18 palms. Hang tight, here we go. Hey guys, Shifu Gregg here with the Authentic Shaolin Kung Fu School. Today, we're going to be going over form and function. Today, we're going to be going over 18 palms. So, we're going to go over that one small part of 18 palms, and we're probably going to do this for the next couple of weeks, and then we're going to bump onto another form. So, in 18 palms, there's a part where you go, let me back up here so you guys can see what's going on. From horse stance position, butterfly palm, it goes straight punch, straight punch. From here, it drops down and comes into a horse stance. From here, it's middle, front kick, and we step out. All right, so we're gonna work this drill. And the rhythm of this motion is here, down, out, middle, front, and push. So, do we do it exactly like that? Not at all. So the reason why form is done, and I say this over and over again, but the reason why forms are made is because it takes a certain type of fighting style for your system, and it teaches you how to utilize those tools in a specific way. It doesn't necessarily mean they need to be strung together that way. So let's go through the first part. Let's go this way because this might help a little bit. So if we're going verbatim and we're copying this exactly the way it was in the form, the motion is in a horse stance position. So I'm going 1, 2. From this position, if I was dropping low, most likely it would be a low line kick. From this position, it would be a low line kick to my leg, and I'm gonna scoop it out of the way and strike my opponent. But the problem is, he's not in the right position for this to work. So, from this position here, if I throw the punch and he blocks, when he steps in, I'm gonna use the arm, and I'm gonna use my body to take him right to the floor. Okay, so I'm utilizing the same movement as this, except that I'm gonna stick my arm in and I'm gonna utilize that motion. So again, obviously it's a little strange because I'm starting in this position, but we're gonna use this traditionally and then we'll move on to a more modern aspect. So it goes 1, 2 here. When he comes in, I step in and I dump my opponent to the floor. So let's do it from this side. Maybe you guys will see more of that technique. So from here, he comes in, I step, I lift, and I toss. So that would be that part of the movement. The most important thing that we can take away from this is that when he comes in, I utilize the scoop from the hand and step in and be able to take my opponent what we call CBM. The right hand is guarding from me getting hit, and the left hand is taking my opponent out. So nothing is ever gonna look pretty. It's always gonna have that grime. Sometimes you get off a technique and it looks really, really nice, but a lot of the times, guys, it's gonna be grimy. People aren't gonna move the right way. Can't tell somebody to move the right way. People are just naturally awkward. So things just happen. So we have to be able to utilize and move on the fly and readjust our technique. So from guard stance position, my opponent's gonna throw the lead. And all I'm gonna do is apply my rising block. When he throws that reverse punch, I slide back and come in. And again, I'm just taking the same technique. So if we go a little faster, it's gonna be here, and I step in, and I bring my opponent to the floor. From here, we drop in and we throw the punch. And we take our opponent out. If we switch to the other side, sorry about that. A little excited. One more time, go. So from here, we step in, boom, take our opponent down to the floor, and we're here. We're already jumping on, we'll strike here. There's a million things that we can do at that point, or just get. Either way. Cool? Okay, so next part of the form, obviously, from this part here, if we did it verbatim, it wouldn't make any sense because our opponent's past us, and now we're gonna come here and we're gonna throw our kicks and we're gonna do our technique. So from this technique here, this movement is going to be from a lead. So now we're throwing our middle front kick. The next motion traditionally is going to be here, and then we push. Okay? So understanding that, we're working our cat stance position. So that means our opponent is launching in on that attack. That's what traditional form tells me why we're moving back. So we're moving back in the cat stance because our opponent launched in. We throw the front kick because it's stable. We throw the front kick, but my opponent's not going to leave the hand out. So as he throws, he's going to go here and he's going to throw, and that's where that hand comes, and then we strike. So I'm not gonna strike low because this is a hard reset for guys, right? I don't want to tickle the I don't want to tickle the walnuts, but from here it's a push. And what I'm doing is, what you're not seeing is the lock underneath the back of the foot. So if we do this again, it's going to be here. 1, 2, when he throws, I step here and I push. And I'm pushing from here, I'm pushing from the side. And that technique comes verbatim from the form, right? 1, 2, 3. So if I was pushing, I'd be doing the hard reset and pushing from the chin. And this would aid in his foot getting stuck so he'd fall. If we take this to a modern setting, from guard stance position, again, I'm here about a foot away from my opponent. So when my opponent throws, I'm right in. So I'm utilizing the middle. I'm not necessarily dropping too much into a cat stance. Again, we were talking about that in, if you look at the other videos, cat stance is good, but it's good as a transitional movement. So the transitional movement is getting me away from my opponent. So I block and hit. When he throws here, look at where I am. So again, I'm trapped behind, I'm trapping his leg behind, and I'm locking and bringing him right to the floor. So what you guys are not seeing is a very subtle, from here, is a very subtle, no, sorry. It's a very subtle move. So if we were clinched up and we were here and I went like this, a lot of people don't even see that movement. So this movement here is a switch and a drop. And this is what we utilize as our rooster stance, which is a very traditional stance, but that can also destroy the side of this leg. And that's what we're looking to do. So again, from the guard stance position, more modern, it's gonna be here. The minute he throws, I'm blocking, but I'm blocking and I'm coming inside here and bringing my opponent to the floor. All right, so we'll do this a little quick. I'm sorry if it's, so just from here, sorry, one more time. So from here, I move and bring him right to the floor. I'm trying to not push on that knee. I'm trying to get around it. We'll do it on this side. So again, on this side, again, staying a foot away from my opponent. It's here. When I come in, I bring down and I turn. So this turn here is putting a lot of downforce on that leg. So again, all it is if we were here and we were in a clinch and I turned here and I bend, it's a lot of weight and it's a lot of force because you're now locking the ankle in. So it shouldn't be too hard for you to utilize, and it helps us when we do our sway jaw techniques and everything else. So again, guys, thanks so much for being here. Form and function is really important. Again, and I preach this all the time. If you guys are just learning form, know what you're learning and know what you're getting. If you're just learning the form, then you're just getting the idea of movement and getting healthy and getting stronger and everything else, but without the function, there's that hidden purpose. There's no purpose there at all. You know, the purpose is to make you healthy and strong, but again, form and function. If you're training martial arts for the martial aspect of it, it's very important to rip apart your forms. And the more that you rip apart your forms, and the more that you guys get in there and you spar and you have pressure tested material, and the more that you work the drills, the more that people start to respect what you're doing and what you understand, right? So I have 42 years of training in the martial arts, 42 years in the same style, and 38 years of that was competing and fighting and sanda and everything else that goes along with it. So everything that I do is pressure tested. So it's important. It's important to get in there, and it's important to get grimy and work the drills and take the forms that you learn, rip them apart, and understand, or try to understand to the best of your abilities, right? Because nobody truly understands what the instructor was trying to teach, because again, you're not getting it from that person's mouth, you're getting it from stuff that was written down. So because of that, there's lost material. So it's up to us to be the detectives. It's up to us to be, to do the work and to put the work in and to earn it, right? Because it shouldn't be just given, it should be earned. Everything in life should be earned. So again, guys, thanks for another form and function. Thanks for watching. Please share, like, hit the subscribe button. It definitely helps us, and it'll definitely help you guys get that notice. Again, it's all about training. So train, don't complain, and we'll see you next week. So as he throws, I'm stepping in, I'm blocking, and then I come in to hit my opponent.